So this is lesson 6. You guys, I have a question for you really fast. Just kind of kick back and watch. So here was the graph of the car, and it looked like that. So it was depreciating at 1,750, and the original cost was 20,905. Really, that's a weird number. Okay, so what about this? What if your friend bought a motorcycle, and the original cost of the motorcycle was $25,000, but the motorcycle was also depreciating at a rate of 1,750. Someone tell me how the graphs would be the same. Someone tell me something the same about those graphs. Go ahead, thanks.
Constantly going down.
Constantly going down. So like this, would it be okay like that? Are you saying the other graph looks like that?
No, I want to decrease at a constant rate. It could look like that, just depends on what your values are.
Okay, so you said some correct things like the depreciating, the constant is good. Somebody else go. What's the same? Go ahead. They have the same slope. So this line right here would actually not be right because it has to be what with that line? What's that word I'm looking for? Parallel. If the slopes are the same, then they're parallel. What's different? Someone tell me what would be different about this scenario, the motorcycle versus the car. Go ahead. Thanks, bud. The starting point. What's the name for the starting point? The y-intercept. So look, this would start higher. I'm going to graph it on the same grid. It would start higher, but the slope would be the same, and the lines would be, everybody tell me, parallel, because the motorcycle and the car are depreciating at the same rate. Who says I understand that? Raise your hand. Yay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Solve these equations for y, determine the slope and the y-intercept. So these are going to be easy. Okay. So on this guy right here, bring your 10x over. So you have 2y equals negative 10x plus 4. Please don't write 4 minus 10x. It's right, but it will confuse you. Okay. Divide everything by 2, and you get y equals negative 5x plus 2. So the slope is a negative 5, and your b is a 2. Okay, that's it. Let's do the next one. Solve it for y. So you have 2y equals 5x plus 10. The x comes over and becomes a positive. Divide by 2, and you get y equals 5/2 x. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Don't box or highlight that because that's not the answer. They wanted you to determine the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope is, you guys, is the slope 5/2 x? Is that right? No, the x is not part of it. It's just the number. So the slope is 5/2, and the b is, everybody tell me, it is 5. Good. Let's do this one. Move your x over. So you have negative 3y equals negative 4x plus 11. Now don't get confused. Let's do it like this. Let's go divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, just to be careful. Okay, so then you have y equals, you guys, what's a negative 4 divided by a negative 3? It's a positive, right? And I'm just going to keep it 4/3, and then I have my x. Then the next guy, this is so awkward, bless you. This is so awkward. Please don't ever write it like that. That to me is wishy-washy. Is it a positive or is it a negative? You guys tell me. It's a negative, so don't be wishy-washy. It's just minus 11/3. See how clear and straightforward that is? Bless you. So your slope is 4/3, and your b, which is your y-intercept, which is your vertical intercept, is a negative 11/3. Who says this is easy? Raise your hand. Let me see. Yay. Okay, everybody look at question D. Now, we've got some yucky stuff going on. Okay, let's move our x over. So we have negative 1/2 y equals negative 3x plus 5. Bless you. I need to get rid of the 2, right, that's in the bottom. Someone tell me how I get rid of that 2. Multiply by 2. So I'm going to go 2, 2, 2. Does that give me a y on the left-hand side? Talk to me about that. No, it gives me a negative y, and I don't want a negative y. So I'm not going to multiply by 2. I'm going to multiply by, tell me, negative 2. Good, you guys. Then that gives me a positive y. And then I have a negative 2 times a negative 3x is a positive 6x. And negative 2 times a positive 5 is a negative 10. So now I know that my slope is a 6, and that my b, which is my y-intercept, which is my vertical intercept, is a negative 10. Okay, let's do this one. Now, I'm going to give you some advice. Everybody look right here. Everybody just chill for a sec. How many people are in this equation? I think of them as people. How many people are there? Everybody talk to me. How many terms do we have? We have 3. Look here. Here's a term. Here's a term. And here's a term. Okay? What number in that equation do I hate? What number makes it so bad? Tell me. The 4. The 3's fine. Who cares if the 3 is there? Because if I had this, guys, look. If I had 6x plus 3y equals 12, do I hate the 3? No, I don't care about the 3. It's the 4 that I hate. So look what I'm doing. Multiply by 4, multiply by 4, multiply by 4. Now, I could have done that on the last problem, but I could see that it wasn't going to be that tough because of the 1 on the top. Okay, so when I multiply this, guys, look, I get 24x. Now look what happens. This 4 cancels with this 4, and now I have a 3y, and 12 times 4 is 48. Way better looking, way easier than the previous one. Okay, now let's solve this for y. So you have 3y equals negative 24x plus 48 divided by 3, and you get y equals negative 8x plus, is it 16? Thank you.
Have Kirsten Marstella come to the office for a minute?
Sure, she'll come in like 5 minutes, okay, if that's okay? Okay, so the slope,
That's fine, thank you.
thank you. The slope is a negative 8, and the b is 16, and you're done. Okay? Who says, I'm good, I get that, let's see. So if you have fractions, knock them out. Get rid of them by multiplying by what's on the bottom. Okay? You guys, we already talked about this. Lines that are parallel have the exact same slope. So I'm going to ask you a question. Look at this. You don't have to write it. If you have y equals 1/2 x plus 4 and y equals negative 1/2 x, are those lines parallel? Tell me. Yes or no? Shout it out. No. Why not? One's a positive, one's a negative. So if that guy's a negative, then this guy has to be a negative. Those slopes have to be completely identical, and then they're parallel. Okay? Parallel is this. You guys know that, right? Okay, let's do question 2. Determine the equation of the line that passes through that point and is parallel to that line. Write your answer in slope-intercept form. Lots of things to remember, okay? Everybody write down the ordered pair, 4, negative 1. And then off to the side, I want you to write y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. That's the formula you use whenever you're trying to get an equation, okay? So guys, look. Highlight the y sub 1, highlight the m, highlight the x sub 1. If it's highlighted, I'm going to put a number in for that, okay? So 4 is your x sub 1, the negative 1 is the y sub 1, but guys, I don't know everything that I'm supposed to put into that equation. I can't do it right now. What don't I know? Everybody in the room shout it out. I don't know the slope. How in the world am I supposed to find the slope? Somebody talk to me. You figure it out. Go ahead, bud.
If they're parallel, then the slope of the equation will be the same.
That's exactly right. So you find the slope of this, and that's going to be the slope of my guy. Good. How do I find the slope? What do I do? What do you do to find the slope? Solve it for y. Yeah, everybody write down 4x minus 2y equals 8 and solve for y. So everybody go negative 2y equals negative 4x plus 8 divide by a -2. I'm going to show that works so I don't get confused. If you don't show the dividing by -2, it's okay. I'm just trying to make it clear. So you get y equals -4, -2 is a positive 2x minus 4. There's only one thing in that entire equation that I care about. What is it? It's not the 4. It's not the -4. Because the -4 is the what? The y-intercept. And what am I looking for? The slope. So here's the only thing I care about. Now, just like we said, my line's parallel. So if their slope is 2, then my slope is 2. So now I can use that formula. So now I go y minus the y point. Minus a -1 is a +1. Is equal to the slope, which is 2, times x minus x sub 1. Here's another thing you have to remember. Slope-intercept is this guy right there, slope-intercept. Talk to me. What's that called? Point slope. Good. Distribute the 2. So you have y plus 1 equals 2x minus 8. Move the 1 over. Y equals 2x minus 9. That's your answer, and you're done. Okay? Who says, I feel good, I get this? Raise your hand. Let me see. Yay. All right. I'm going to speed up a little bit. Whoa. Yeah, I better speed up. Okay, here's number 3. Determine the equation line that passes through this point and is parallel to that. Write your answer in slope-intercept form. Is that what yours looks like? Yes? Is that your next problem? Yes? Okay. All right, so we have to solve it for y. So -5y equals -2x plus 10. Divide by a -5. And you get y equals a positive 2/5 x minus 2. I just solved it for y. The only thing I care about is the 2/5. My guy is parallel. So I'm going to go y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So now I'm going to go y minus the y value, which is a 0, is equal to the slope, which is 2/5, times x minus the x value, which is 5. Now, on this problem, I wouldn't knock the 5 out. I would just deal with it. Let's knock it out. Let's knock it out. So you're going to go here, and you're going to go here, and you're going to go here. And I'm going to multiply by 5, multiply by 5, multiply by 5. Okay? So the yellow, 5 times y is 5y. What's 5 times 0, everybody? 0, so that doesn't do anything. These 5's in the blue right here cancel. Distribute, and you have 2x minus 10. Solve it for y, so it's y equals 2/5 x minus 10 divided by 5 is 2. There's your answer. Okay, now we're going to talk about perpendicular. Okay, everybody take your pencil and draw a line somewhere on your paper. Okay, I don't care where it is. Yes, honey?
So it's the same line as the other one, then?
It is the same. I'm so glad that you noticed that. It shouldn't be. Why would it be? It's confusing that it is. I wish that it wasn't, but it's okay. Why would it end up being the same as the original? Look what she noticed, and I'm so thrilled that you noticed that, honey. Look. She said, well, you solved that guy for y, then you solved him for y, and they're the same. I wish they weren't the same. It's okay that they are. Why are they? Go ahead. Say it again. It is infinite solutions. They lie on top of each other. Why are they the same? I'm going to start it. You guys finish it. This equation passes through what point? It passes through that point. So if the equation they give you actually touches the point, then it will be the same. Very unusual for that to happen. Super impressive that you knew that you noticed that, honey. Okay, so draw a line on your paper. And now I want you to draw a line that is perpendicular to that line. What does perpendicular look like? Are they parallel? Do they intersect? Intersect means cross, right? When they intersect, what do they create? Everybody tell me. A 90-degree angle. So draw your picture like this. Intersect, and I want you to put a little box right there. That box means that's a 90-degree angle, okay? In order to find reciprocal slopes, it's called negative reciprocals. Sometimes people get confused on that. It means change the sign and flip it. That's what it means, negative reciprocals. Flip it, change the sign. Okay, here's question 4. Determine the equation of the line that passes through that point and is perpendicular to that point. You guys, this is going to feel like deja vu for a second. Okay, look right here. Write down the point, -1, 2. Then write down the equation, y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Then highlight the y sub 1, the m, and the x sub 1. So I know the x sub 1, and I know the y sub 1. Everybody in the room, what don't I know? The slope, just like what we did before. So how do you find the slope? Well, it's going to be perpendicular to this guy. So let's find this guy's slope. So everybody go 3x minus 4y equals -16. Tell me what to do to that equation. Everybody in the room, tell me. What do I do? Solve for y, right? So move your x over. So you have -4y equals -3x minus 16. Divide by -4. And you get y equals 3/4 x plus 4. This slope is 3/4. So does that mean that my slope is also 3/4? Everybody in the room tell me. No, they're perpendicular. Theirs is a positive, mine is a what? Tell me. Negative. If theirs was a negative, then mine would be a positive. Theirs is 3/4, mine is, tell me, 4/3. Now you just do the rest of it the same. Okay, let's do it. Slope-intercept means you have to solve it for y. Okay, do it with me, guys. Everybody go y minus the y value, which is a 2, is equal to the slope, which is a -4/3, times x minus the x value, that's minus a -1, which is a +1. What's the ugliest part about this equation? Tell me. The 3. So look what I'm going to do. How many times do I multiply by 3? This is the risk. How many times do I multiply by 3? Everybody in the room tell me. 3. That's the risk. That you're going to do too many. Here, here, and here. So now I have 3y minus 6 equals. This 3 cancels with that 3. Distribute the -4, and you get -4x minus 4. Slope-intercept form means solve it for y. So now I have 3y equals -4x. The 6 comes over and becomes a positive, so that leaves me a +2. Last step is to divide by 3, so I get a -4/3 x plus 2/3, and I'm telling you guys, it is at least 10 times easier. At least 10 times easier to knock out those fractions. Had we not multiplied by 3 right here, it would have been so much tougher. Because then you're adding fractions, getting common denominators, all that stuff that takes forever. Okay? Okay, raise your hand if you're like, I get this. Let me see. Yay. Okay, good. General form. You guys, people get all freaked out about general form. Oh, I don't understand general form. It's so scary. It's not scary. Like point slope form is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Slope intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Easy. General is just as easy. It's just like that. X and y on one side, non-x's on the other. Okay? Write this down. No fractions. A must, capital A, let's do capital A. Capital A must be a positive. It's so easy. I promise you it is so easy. So put x's on one side, non-x's on another. So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 steps in one. I hope this doesn't freak you out. I'm going to move the 5y over there. But then besides that, look what I'm going to do. Look at my hands. I'm going to do this with the equation. I'm going to flip sides at the same time. So on one side, I'd have a 10x and a negative 5y, and on the other side I have a negative 6. Why did I flip the sides and move? Well, because the x and the y have to be on the left. And I didn't want to take 2 steps, I wanted to do it in 1. If you're confused, I have a couple of faces that people are like, huh? If I move that 5y over, you have negative 6 equals 10x minus 5y. Then I just reverse the order. So this is your answer. If it freaks you out to do it all in 1 step, then don't. Okay? Okay, let's do the next one. General form. X and y on the one side, constant on the other. So everybody go y minus 6 equals 5x minus 15. Now I'm going to do 2. Actually, raise your hand if it's kind of freaking you out that I'm doing 2 steps in 1. Anybody? I'm going to do 3 steps in 1. Really? You got to be able to do it. I'm going to do 3 steps in 1. You can do it. Look, the y comes over there. That's not scary. The 15 comes over there. That's not scary. Plus, I'm going to do this. Okay, so just think about it like this. On one side, I have a 5x and a negative y. On the other side, a negative 15 and a positive x is a negative 9. There's my answer. So I move 2 things and I switch the sides. If it confuses you, then don't do it. Okay, who says, I can do that myself? Raise your hand, I want to see. Do a big raise up. Okay, most of us. If you can't, take more than 1 step. Look at question C. The second I look at that equation, what do I notice? Everybody tell me. I have a fraction. Am I allowed to have a fraction on general form? Tell me that. No. So let's knock it out. I'm going to go 3 2's. Here, here, and here. So now I have 2y plus 2 equals this 2 and that 2 cancel, and I have x plus 4. Okay? I'll take more than 1 step here. I could do 3 steps in 1, like last time. I'm going to do something else, but it's a pain. So if you can do 3 steps in 1, then do it. I'm going to move my x. I'm going to move my 2. So then I have negative x plus 2y equals 4 minus 2 is a 2. That answer is not acceptable. It's not wrong. It's just not acceptable. So I moved my x over, it became a negative. Moved the 2 over, it became a negative. What's wrong with my answer? The x is a negative, right? So just go through and change all the signs, and that's fine. So, you know, show whatever amount of work that you feel like you need to. Okay? Okay, question 6. Jeez, look at this. All right, question 6. You're in charge of purchasing pens and paper for all your employees at your job. Pens are $3, paper costs $2.25. You have $1,300 altogether. Write an equation in general form that relates the number of pens and the number of pads of paper you can purchase with your budget. This is easy, okay? So I'm going to say pens and paper. Those are my variables. I'm going to let pens be something and paper be something else, some variable. Let's just do x and y. So the number of pens is x. The number of pads of paper is y. Each pen costs $3. So to get the total amount that I spent in pens, I take the number of pens, and what do? Talk to me. Multiply it by 3. Yeah, let's do the same thing for paper. So I'm going to take the number of pads of paper that I'm going to buy, multiply it by the cost of the paper, which is $2.25. To get the total amount, tell me what I do to those 2 things. Add them together. And how much money should that be equal to? I want to spend my exact amount that I have. $1,300. Yeah, that's it. And that's in general form. Okay, question 7. Okay, these ones are quick too. Graph the following horizontal lines. The slope of all these lines is 0. Determine if the graph is a function. Everybody listen. Horizontal. You guys all know that horizontal is this, right? Look right here. Let me just kind of show you how you reason through this.
Ms. Waller,
Yes.
you need to have Kirsten Marstella come to the office, please.
Okay, thank you. Did they call you earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, so it might be kind of important. Okay, so y equals 5. Everybody look at that. There's no x. So the second I look at it, I know it's weird. Everybody freeze for just a sec. I know it's weird. There's no X. There's usually an X in there, right? So now that I know it's weird, then I know it's either like this or I know it's like this, okay? Y equals 5. Everybody go up to y equals 5, right there. And then I want you to put a dot over here. And then I want you to put a dot right here. Just put these random dots. I don't even care where you put them. Every one of those points, what's the same about every one of those points? You tell me. The y is 5. So it crosses the y-axis at 5. The dots don't matter. The dots can be there or not be there. It doesn't matter. The point is, on that line, every y value is 5. That's your graph, okay? Everybody in the room talk to me. Is this a function? Yes, it is. What is the slope of that line? Is there any change in that line? No. So the slope is 0. Horizontal line has a slope of 0. Let's do the next one. Y equals -1. The y values are negative down. So there's your y-intercept right there. Crosses the y-axis. Okay? Everybody in the room tell me, is that a function, yes or no? Yes, it is. It passes the, what's it called? Vertical line test. What's your slope? 0. Okay? Look at this one. X equals -2. Guys, it's weird. I know immediately it's either going to be horizontal or it's going to be vertical. Look, you guys, everybody go to an X value of -2. This line is supposed to cross the X-axis. X-axis because it's there. So crossing the X-axis would mean it looks like that. Okay, crosses the X-axis at a -2. Everybody in the room tell me, is this a function, yes or no? No. Because if you draw a vertical line right on top of it, it touches it forever. So it is not a function. What is the slope of a vertical line? Tell me that. It's undefined. I'm going to tell you a quick story. It's going to take me 30 seconds. What if some guy was trying to impress you girls, and he said, I rode my motorcycle this weekend, and I went up a mountain just like that, and then I came down the mountain just like that. Then what do you say, girl? What do you say? Are you like, cool, that's so great? What do you say to the guy? Come on. Do you roll your eyes? Do you go, whatever? You roll your eyes, right? Can he do this? He's trying to impress you. Is he lying to you? Tell me. He's lying to you. Undefined means impossible. A boy cannot go up a mountain like that. So guys, when you're trying to impress a girl, don't tell them that, because they're going to roll their eyes, okay? So the slope is undefined. Not possible to ride a motorcycle up a mountain like that. Okay, let's do the next one. X equals 0. X equals 0 is here. Everybody in the room, it's supposed to cross the x-axis. So is it this or this? Which one of these crosses the x-axis? This one, right? So it's right there. It's right on top of the y-axis. Who cares? Doesn't matter if it's on top of the y-axis. Is it a function? Everybody tell me yes or no. No. And what's the slope? Talk to me. Undefined. Good. All right. Two more. Does this represent a function? Why or why not? Write the equation for this numerical relationship. All these things you guys have seen on Weber State stuff. I add them in at the end because I'm like, oh, I got to talk about this. Is it a function? Everybody tell me that. Is it a function? Yes, it's a function. Okay. Write the equation. You guys, what's the same about every single one of those points? What's the same? The y value. So everybody write y equals. What's the y value equal to on all those points? 2. So no matter what x is, y is always 2. That's what happened. Okay, last one. You know the point 2, 1 is on the graph. Give the coordinates of a point that you know is not on the graph. Go ahead. We've done this before. Have we done this before? Okay, go ahead. Give it, shout it out. What is it? 2, anything. Just don't say -1. 2, any number is an acceptable answer. That number just can't be a -1, because then it would be the same point. Why is that the answer? Somebody tell me. Then the x's would repeat and the x's can't repeat. Good.